biggest project I've been involved in that uses LiveCode is In My Shoes. And this was originally developed by a group of us who all, at the time, all worked at Liverpool University. The idea was to develop a toolkit that would help children communicate about distressing experiences. So anything from ordinary unhappiness to experiences of child abuse. And we got a little bit of money from Apple and some pump priming money from the Liverpool University. And thereafter we were funded by the Department of Health and a couple of other charities. So over the years, the project grew and grew, and it was originally programmed in Pascal by Phil Jimmerson. At that time, there was great resistance to anything that was Mac only. So we found it very difficult to get professionals who worked with children to actually adopt the system, despite the fact that we had a huge amount of evidence that it actually works very well and enables children who wouldn't otherwise be able to communicate about experiences to do exactly that. So eventually we got some funding to develop a cross-platform version, and by then Phil had been experimenting with LiveCode, and that was the route we went down. And I would say, I don't know what he would say, but I would say amazingly quickly he was able to rewrite the entire really very complex program using LiveCode such that it was cross-platform. And the continued development of LiveCode means that we've also been able to take little modules out of the In My Shoes toolkit and make those available as standalone apps that focus on specific areas of communication and child assessment. What we effectively now have is a little stable of cross-platform tools that are being maintained using the kind of steady progress that LiveCode makes in various areas. And the difference between what I do with LiveCode and what Phil Jimmerson does with LiveCode, they're just a world apart. But LiveCode allows us both to do what we need to do. He writes superb code, properly documented, lots of remarks throughout, and does a very professional job. I'm very much a jobbing coder. My ideas are the important thing. I get something to work. It's probably not the best or most efficient way of coding. I often don't document properly, but I end up with something that does exactly what I wanted to do. So there are extremes of different uses of LiveCode. I can truly appreciate both extremes in the work that Phil does in developing In My Shoes, and the work that I do at the other end of, I don't want to call it hobbyist, because it's not. It's about developing tools that will help me in my day-to-day work. I suppose the development that has been most exciting over recent years has been the fact that there's been a lot of international interest in My Shoes, and we've been able to develop multiple language versions. So Turkish versions that will run in British Sign Language, in Swedish, Norwegian, Spanish, and all of that really is down to the tools that LiveCode make available and the way Phil Jimmerson is able to use them and implement them in steady development of the In My Shoes package.